Good day, my friends, and welcome to my van life, health and care, where we can come together under this title and we can talk about how we can be healthy while traveling on the road, or if you also have to deal with disabilities. Not all the subjects will be concentrating on traveling with disabilities, but I do travel with that, and so there will be times that I will be discussing that here also. But today we are going to discuss what it's like and how to take care of ourselves when it is 90+ degrees out on the road. Whether you're in a treed area or out in the desert where you might have nothing but a little sagebrush, which doesn't give you a whole lot of shade. I'll be going over some things that I do in my last several years of experience of traveling and what I do to help me in situations like this. So this is not about a time of looking glamorous, okay? This is about being real. I'm not going to cover up. I'm not going to pretend, or get specially dressed for this video. This is about how I would normally maybe dress. If no one's around, no YouTube, this is how I will end up dressing in order to stay cool. I might have did just a tad modification by putting the skirt thing on, but I'll show you why when we get to talking about how I might dress, okay? So are we ready to get started? All right, so let's get real. Let's talk about 90+ or even anything that you consider being extremely hot. All right, so let's get started. The people around you will really enjoy you making sure that you can have that deodorant on hand, so that way you can smell as fresh as you can battling those high temperatures. I actually use this brand. It works for me. The Secret pH Balanced Unscented, and even though it's unscented, it does work. But no, all serious behind, I'm kind of joking here, but not really, I guess, for the people around you. But definitely don't run out of that when you're dealing with high temperatures if you're around people. Seriously, about how I stay cool. One of the things is about the clothing. Some people like to wear maybe long sleeve shirts and things like that, and they'll wet them down and with a thin material because it protects them from the sun. And I will be talking about protecting ourselves from the sun, but mostly I do put adequate enough shade in some manner or another when I'm traveling. So again, it depends on what I have for shade. Right now I've got trees that shade me, so it's far different than if I'm in the desert and I have absolutely no shade anywhere around me. So in most cases I use water. So I will just wet myself. I will wet my shirt down as much as possible. I will just drench. This also is a cool wrap, and I highly recommend this. I can't get my water bottle to work now, of course. There, almost, come on. There it goes, almost, there it goes. Yeah, so I will just, put this in a bag, a little Ziploc bag, and I put a lot of water in there, and I just drench this inside the baggie, and I'll re-wet it throughout the day. And this is amazing on how cool it makes you feel. And it's just around your neck, it's wonderful. It's just so refreshing. I have 2 of those, and I'll show you Milo because Milo has one also. So they do sell these kind of wraps for dogs, okay? But we'll get to the dogs in a little bit. So, and again, I just wet, you know, and it really is refreshing. I will wear my hair up if possible. I will, you know, put it up. The less around, the better. I will wet everywhere, wet the band. I'll just really like to be, just wet everything. Now, if I'm in the Arizona or desert, I do wear the hats a lot, especially because if I don't have a lot of shade going on, or if I'm traveling from point A to point B, I'm not going to put out a lot of shade on my vehicle. So then I wear my hats because I will protect my body, my face, my nose, and everything from the sun, because I am going to protect it from skin cancer. That is my #1 priority, more than YouTube and everybody out there who views me and they go, gosh, you in those hats, you know, you look better without them. I know, but they protect me. I'm out traveling full time. I'm in the elements, and it really does give me a lot of protection for my face. And that's the most important thing, okay? So, with that in mind, but for now, I've got trees, shade going on. I don't have to wear a hat because it's so hot. I put my hair up, and I'm content and I'm happy, okay? Now, I will wear shorts. A lot of shorts in different lengths. Okay, I do have shorts underneath here, but I'm wearing the skirt because I am, you know, not going to show my complete body, you know, just because of I'm a little shy on that area. So I just covered it with a little skirt for now. Just that's the only modification I did for this video, that when I was running around before I decided to film, I did not have the little skirt on. I was just wearing the shorts because there's nobody here but me. I will wear different kinds of shorts depending if I'm by myself around, you know, around Kent. You know, I'll wear things like the short here, but if there's more people around, I will wear different types of shorts. That's probably the only difference that I might do with the type of shorts that I may wear according to people. The rest, it's like, I don't care. I'm going to be cool as I can be. Okay? That is just me. Now, the other thing is, and we'll get back to other things that I do for coolness, but I do want to touch before we go on to another subject, is making sure you do have your sunscreens. I have a 50 and I have a 70, so if I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the sun or in and out from the sun, I definitely will use these depending on how much I think I'll be exposed to the sun. I'll do a lot of 70 on my face. I just really protect my face a lot, and between the 50 and 70 on my body. Again, how much I'm out in the sun will vary. Another thing is you want to make sure that you stay hydrated, and I will talk about keeping your pet hydrated as well, what I'm watching out with Milo, because it is so important, especially with that little munchkin, because he doesn't drink enough water. Okay, so let's discuss one more thing before we get to the water is chapstick. I always protect my lips, so make sure you have sunscreen in your chapstick as well. Okay, the other thing is now staying hydrated. Okay, now here's water, and I put lemon in my water, and a couple drops of stevia, so I'll make a quick instant type of lemonade. You know, it's very refreshing. I try not to drink super cold things, maybe cool, but not necessarily warm. But they say not to go super cold because I guess it can affect your body temperature more drastically. But I do cool to, you know, not super warm, but now this is kind of warmed up a little bit, and that's okay. It's still refreshing with the lemon in there. But definitely the most important thing is to stay hydrated. Now they say you should drink, or the average person is 6 to 8-ounce glasses a day. Now remember, that can vary per person because not everybody needs the same amount of water intake. That is kind of a guideline, but you need to listen to your own body. But what I do try to do is this is 16 ounces. So I know that in one of these is 2 8-ounces. So I'm going to make sure every hour that I'm at least drinking, you know, half a bottle of this. Sometimes I'll drink more. But I basically use something as my guideline. I also have another water thing that's 24 ounces, and I'll still make sure I'm drinking half of that at least every hour. Okay, I'm kind of watching that. Now, some of the things that you want to be mindful of if you're not aware of if you are drinking enough, how would you know, is by a couple of things. One is look at your urine. I know it might sound strange, but I'm really serious. Look at your urine. Your urine should be kind of clearish, a lighter yellow, you know, color, but not a dark yellow or amber color. That means you're not getting enough water. So know what your normal urine color looks like as you're hydrated, and notice a change as you're in those hotter months. But you definitely are looking for you know, that kind of darker yellow, amber color to your urine. Okay, I wrote some things down because, again, it's just my memory. I don't ever want to miss something because of my memory. One of the things to keep in mind when you're trying to keep hydrated is caffeine. A lot of caffeine, because you want to stay away from things that are going to make you urinate a lot. Okay, you want to stay within 200 to 300 milligrams of caffeine, the most, when it's hot, not above that, because you could start to end up urinating more because of the caffeine, and you'll be losing a lot of your water intake. Okay, because one of the things that you really want to keep in mind, your body uses the water to maintain its temperature, obviously to remove waste, and it also helps to lubricate your joints. So if we go back and talk about a little bit, if you're struggling with joint issues, which I do, it's so important that I keep those joints lubricated at all times. So water helps to do that. Okay, so that's going to be a priority. Now, signs of being dehydrated, research that, go online, but just a couple symptoms to keep in mind. As I mentioned, to little to no urination. You might notice you're drinking a lot of water and you're just going, wait a minute, I notice I've hardly been urinating, you know. And also the color. And I'm going to talk about a story, what happened to me after I go over some of the symptoms. Dry mouth, Look for any kind of sleepiness or fatigue, headaches, dizziness, or confusion, and more. But those are just some of the most basic. But go online and research. Be familiar of what those symptoms can be. Because last year when Kent and I were camp hosting at the Oregon Jamboree. No, actually, I'm sorry. It didn't happen last year. It happened 2 years ago. I mean, we did camp host last year, but I didn't have any problems. But 2 years ago, we were dealing with triple digits. And when we have our meetings to camp host, they warn us to drink enough water and what the signs should be. And so one of them was, you know, oh, if you also, and it didn't mention that when I went online, but they mentioned it at the meeting, is be aware if you stop perspiring. If all of a sudden, you know, you're in a climate where you will perspire a lot, because I know some drier climates you don't perspire hardly at all. So you want to be aware of that. But out here you will perspire. So if there's been a change, or feel more fatigued or sleepy, and then and I wasn't urinating, so those were the big ones. I remember I just got, man, I was laying and I was like, I can't stay awake, and then it was kind of cute because, you know, I was laying there with Milo and Kent was taking a picture, and it was just like, I mean, nothing was making me wake up. I was so out of it. After several hours of fighting this, I kind of woke up and I started to realize, you know, I haven't actually been, you know, urinating. I was thinking I wasn't perspiring, and you know, I put two and two together that I was dehydrated. And I started instantly drinking, I think I drank like a couple bottles of this, like 2 of these, and almost instantly, I'm not kidding, I just started flooding out of the perspiration. It was like, whoa, you know. I definitely was dehydrated. So I learned from experience, and also in Arizona last year when we were coming through the Lake Powell area, I ended up almost collapsing. You know, we were coming back from a hike and I didn't take enough water and I wasn't staying dehydrated. I started getting dizzy and I ended up collapsing. And Kent had to come and rescue me and bring me a cold cloth and getting water, and he actually poured water over me and I started drinking more water. And I have a video on that, so I'll put a link to that video because I've learned a lot since then about staying hydrated, okay? And sometimes you won't be aware that you're in trouble until you're in trouble. And then if you're by yourself, who's going to rescue you? Who's going to help you? So you've got to be your own best friend, and you have to take these temperatures very seriously about staying hydrated. Okay? So if you have a situation that happened to you, or anything that I might have missed that you may want to share, go ahead and put it in the comment, okay? And definitely we're going to discuss about these subjects, okay? So let's talk about pets. I want to go get Milo and let's talk about him. Hope this was helpful. Put any comments down below. Anything you think I missed, anything that works for you, you want to share, that is really helpful. Definitely, let's talk about it. And I appreciate everybody just being here, being a part of this journey on the road with me, and us learning how to have better health and care. Also, on the road, and we do it together. So I love you all, and I really do appreciate you all. And if you like videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and that way you will be notified for any future videos. But make sure to ring that bell so that will happen, and I will see you all in the next video.